Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another episode of the UK Connection. Because, of course, if you see Simon and Steven and little old me, it's the UK Connection. So, what's up, gentlemen? How are you?
All well here?
Good.
Oh, fair to middling. Look at Simon, fair to middling.
Oh, actually, I'm in a right good mood. I've just realised I'm in a good mood, aren't I? Yes, I am. Yeah, sorry. Just regular listeners will know that I've been expecting my box, and as you know, my box has arrived. So people will be pleased to know that I am now the proud owner of Godot. Yeah, there we go. There's some football in the reflection because this is definitely not a Tuesday night. Yeah, Godot. And do you know what? I've left this to last of all the discs that were in there. Left it to last. I mean, I am a pleasure delayer. Oh yeah,
And that's probably going to be the one you'll like the most.
baby. And I feel like I already know that I'm going to like Brothers of the Southland the best. I feel like that. I downloaded that already, so I know I've got it on CD. Job's a good one, isn't it? So yeah, actually, I'm now in a good mood. I
Good.
wasn't before, but now I am. I remember to be in a good mood.
And for those who have no idea what he's talking about, Simon, who sent you that nice little box?
You sent me that box, didn't you?
Yes, I
And
did.
let me tell you what happened with that box, because this is where we lose all the awards. Um, the second time I took the dogs out today, I was walking up the streets, and the and Postman Pat came back for the second time with my. He said, "Are you from Foreigner?" I said, "I am." And he gave me the box, which actually wasn't the box, so I had to take it on my dog walk, stuffed up in my hoodie. And about three quarters of the way through, I dropped it and I smashed all three that have dual cases. Yep, all three of them smashed. Oh, well done, Simon.
So they got all the way from the US safe and sound, and you destroyed them within minutes of having them.
On his
Yep.
street. So they made it all those thousands of miles across the pond, but it was on Simon's street while he's walking his dog that they got ruined. Oh boy.
Yep.
I hope you had some spare jewel cases in the house.
Let's just say that some of Mrs. Simon's CDs won't function as well as they. It's okay because she never listens to them. She'll never
I
know.
have done that before too, because I know, my wife never listens to CDs anymore, but I know where they all are. So every now and then I'm like, shit, I don't have any spare jewel cases, and I got this one, it's cracked. I'm like, and I'll go into the other room and I'll be like, "Bloop," and I'll do the replace so, and I'm like, she'll never know.
So ham-fisted that when I was mending mine, I broke The Calling. She's got The Calling album. They were famous for about 7 seconds once, weren't they? And she'll never know.
But yours look brand new now, right? There you go. Job well done, my friend. There you go.
Yeah. Should I just mosey on onto the beer while we're here?
Yes,
Go
let's do
on.
that before we
All
get into
righty.
2013.
Excellent.
So yes, let's talk about the beer. Go ahead.
Well, actually, my beer is almost from 2013 because I was looking in the cupboard of Destiny earlier and I thought, oh, shit, look, wow, that's from Madeira. Yes, it's a coral stout from Madeira. Mm. When did I go to Madeira, kids? That's right, 2 years ago. So this is massively out of date. Yeah. So it's what's the year out of date? So let's give it a. I've already given it a while I was waiting for you lot to bin off Tremonti, but here we go. Hmm. And I've already when I had it originally in Madeira, I awarded it 3 out of 5, which if it was a 2013 album would be, wait for it, drum roll, thank you. It would be Harum Scarum, Mood Swings 2, which I brought in at number 31 for 2013.
Okay. Well, I'm playing it safe this week. In other words, this is what landed in my hand here. So I'm back at the Abernight Brewery. It's not far from here. It's far enough. I couldn't walk it. Well, I couldn't walk back, put it that way. And I've got a Canoe Red, which is one of my favourites. So I know I'm on a winner here. At 4.7%, it looks like this in the glass. Maiden are getting a real showing tonight for some reason because they're not in these lists. So I don't know why. But it looks like a red beer shoot in the glass. Tasting it, I know it well. So I already know that this is this is at least I mean, we don't do the 4 point. It's not quite 4.5. It's 4.2, 4.3. Would I have made it into my top 10 this year? Probably not. So let's say that it is Shrine of a New Generation Slaves by Riverside. It's just outside the top 10.
That's pretty good.
It's pretty good. Oh, love it. Yes, indeed. Oh, look. Oh, you mean?
Bellhaven Scottish Ale, rich, nutty, smooth at what, 5.2%? And it kind of looks like this. I bought this 2 weeks ago, but I saved it especially for today. That's really good.
See, we know what we're doing here.
That's really good. That's really good. Wow. I might like that just as much, if not more so than the stout.
Wow, there you are. That is a good beer. That is a good beer.
Really good. Really smooth. I would give this a Mind Control by Uncle Acid and the Deadbeats. Oh, okay. It was in my top 10 originally.
I knew that was okay.
Cheers. Oh, that's delightful.
Yes,
Wow.
cheers.
Yes.
That's really good. All right. So the theme of this episode, we've done these before, is to pick a year that again, to even go back further. So, of course, the three of us have all been working together on the Sea of Tranquility webzine for a long time now. So we go back and we pick a year where we all did a year end ranking of all the stuff that we reviewed and listened to during the year. And we go and revisit these lists in the current year and say, okay, what were we thinking back in 2013? Was our top 10, was it a good top 10? How would we rank these now? Would our top 10 even look at all like it did back then? That's the whole purpose of the episode. So we're each going to reveal our top 10s and maybe we'll pull some stuff out and look through the rest of our list and say, well, this one sitting down in the bottom of the barrel in the honorable mentions, that's a number five now in 2025, right? So we kind of leave it open to play around with it a little bit. So Simon, why don't you give us some insight into your top 10 back 12 years ago?
Well, this concept is mine, isn't it? This was my idea
It is a
was.
great concept. I remember the
Thank
first
you.
time you proposed it, I was kind of like, that'll be okay. I look forward to doing these now. These are a lot of fun.
Just like Simon does. Simon's been really looking forward to this show, haven't you, Simon?
What's what I'm looking for? No, 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 no. I'm really looking forward to 2014. I'm going to be so positive about that year. But this one, for some deeply obtuse reason, and I really don't understand why, I produced a top 56. What the heck? Why would anybody do that? Why
It's
would you?
because you wanted to do 60 and you just couldn't come up with four other albums, right?
Or I could have got rid of the bottom six, which I've never heard of. Not a clue. Who's
Yeah,
Klaus Schultz?
56, that's an odd number. That's really
Juggernaut. Airless. Saronia. Helker. Who are these people?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I know. And I think I've been doing lots of thinking. And as I said to you previously, Stephen, I have no show and tell this year for these albums. I can't. At least two of them, two of the things in my top 10, I just can't find since we ranked the albums of these bands. Yeah, I just put them somewhere. Don't really know where. They could be anywhere. Oops. Yes, Stephen.
I'll just add ranked the albums of these bands years ago.
Yeah.
They'll leave that there. Years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. It could be anywhere.
well,
I
Simon,
really could.
don't feel bad. I didn't bring any show and tell either because it's been my kind of day. I was like, I didn't grab anything. I know. I'm lazy.
I bet
Whatever.
you could have found them though, couldn't you?
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. I could probably, as we're talking, I can go grab them. I mean, that's not a big.
I, I've alphabetized my CDs from A to D-ish, and still. Anyhow, there we go. Such is life. I have, however, developed a theme or a thesis of this year, and I think I'm not that impressed with the entire year because I think it was a fairly shitty year. Personally, I think shit happened in 2013. I'd rather forget. So a bit like the music, which I know Stephen doesn't agree with, but the theme is bands who I like that have better albums, but I put them in the top 10 anyhow.
Hmm.
So I've got a Lordi album there, To Beast or Not to Beast. It's like every other Lordi album, it's a bit kissy and, but it's not as good as the first two. Yeah. FM, Rockville 2's I've got that at 7. It's a good one. It's solid. FM don't make bad records. They really don't, but it's not my favorite. Got Preachers of the Night by Powerwolf in there. It's all right. It's not my favorite. So yeah, it's just I've also got Glory Hammer, who I really liked at the time. Then I went and saw them.
That was that.
Yeah, that game over for them. Yeah, I'm fairly confident that Corpi Kalani were in support, and those two bands don't really go together. No, so yeah, so I 10 was Lordy to Beast, Not to Beast. It's all right. Glory Hammer Tales from Kingdom of Five, which I wrote ridiculously tuneful, which it is, but hasn't stayed with me.
It's a joke that wore thin quite quickly.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Also, 2013 was a year when I was still using iTunes, I think, and I've lost all that because it died. My 8 was Devon Allman's Turquoise, which really good record. I've sort it out, and yeah, I'm happy that it's one of the top 10 albums for me for that year. I had FM Rockville 2 at 7, Powerwolf's Preachers of the Night, bonkers but great is what I actually said, and then into the top 5. My top 5 was, of course, Deadlock, The Arsonist, which to my knowledge I've never heard of. Not once, not ever. Nope, not a clue. But there it was at number 5. So I must have liked it. So I've gone back and listened to it. And I've also thought, well, maybe I reviewed it.
Probably.
No, no, no. This is a review by a Mr. Peter Pardo. Oh, you. It was you. You give it 3. It looks like 3.5 stars. I've gone back and listened to it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I really did. Apparently,
Simon,
yes.
Simon, can I interrupt and say, reading your synopsis, which is like a sentence, not even, of this album, is not only could you clearly like it enough to have it in your top 5, but you put best album so far from.
Yep.
If you don't know who they are, how can it be their best so
I
far?
know. Well, I went back. I went back and listened, and I've listened. I thought, oh yeah, I do. I kind of. Wow. Now, is it because I don't
A
own
lot can
physical?
happen in 12 years.
Like I say, the early 2010s were really shit period personally for me. But I've gone back. I thought, yeah, I remember those. I remember this. Yeah, and your review was so right. They did become a little bit more. The female vocals became a little bit more to different. They became poppy and more Euro poppy. And you know what? I have finally, absolutely 100% realized that me and you, Peter, like things that are completely different.
Yep.
I am the anti-Pete. You are the anti-Simon. Whatever I like, you don't, and very much the vice versa. I genuinely like all of it except for the cover of Small Bronski beats Small Town Boy, which I believe was a melodic goth metal engaging cover, or shite, as we like to call it. Yes, not good.
And the funny thing is, I mean, I reviewed it. I couldn't even tell you who they are or what they sound like.
So you reviewed it and can't tell me anything about it, Pete. And Simon, you've got it in your top 5 and you know nothing about it either.
Yeah, but thoroughly enjoyed it.
Whether backhanders going on this website that I was just never part of.
Could be, but Deadlock. I liked it. I don't think they've done right much recently. But I've gone back and listened to some of the stuff, and it's I like it. It's good. It's kind of metally techno, and it's all right. It's all right. So back four. Uh Lost Weekend, the British AOI band at four, Evermore. And it's not my favorite Lost Weekend album either. I've got more of those than their albums than I thought. I once saw them play for free at Wigan, and there was nobody there. Yeah, just saying.
You were
Absolutely.
there.
I was there. Yes. And I think they had to. I'm not saying they had to stop for the bingo or something like that, but they had to take a break for some deeply obtuse reason and come back on about midnight for fewer than nobody. So yeah, Wigan really is the rock and roll capital of the world. I'm sure we can all agree. But I'm very, very happy with my top three. My top three are awesome. I stand by this top three. Maybe not quite in the same order. My three was the Lewis Method Sticky Wickets, which we mentioned probably when we started, just when we started doing. Oh, hello, I've gone. I haven't moved, but I've gone blurry. Oh, blur, they were shit, weren't they? What's going on with that guy? Why have I gone blurry? I don't like it. Hello. That's it.
There you
Okay.
go.
So yeah. I think we mentioned the Duckworth Lewis method when we first started doing the UK connection, didn't we? And their two albums of cricket pop are magnificent. I went back and I've listened to Sticky Wickets. It's awesome. It's a bit like a slightly more eccentric ELO. Yes, Steve. Yes, Peter.
I heard Steve's the only one who raises a hand. I know we've gone over this, but I couldn't tell you what it is. What is cricket pop?
Some pop songs about cricket.
Pop songs about a cricket?
No, cricket, the sport, the world's greatest sport.
Gotcha. Okay.
You said you went to listen to them before. You said you promised. Did you lie? Did you tell lies,
I
Peter?
probably did, but that was, you know how many thousands of
I,
albums I've listened to since then. The name kind of looks familiar, but I'm kind of like, eh.
I think you're also having to factor in that Pete, who like myself is not a lyric guy to start with, understood the cricket references.
It's
Probably
just
not.
cricket. It's not cricket that you don't know about that. It really isn't. Yeah.
Cricket's not really a thing over here, so
Yeah, came in off my long run and bounced you, so hey, such is life. Huh? No,
Please tell me it's over. Anyway,
I
no,
do
I
know
can't.
your first two though quite well.
Yes, indeed. But I'm not going to talk about them. I'm just going to carry on about cricket for half an hour. Uh, I was going to say something about the Duckworth Lewis method, but it's gone, completely gone. Yes, Amon Amarth, Deceiver of the Gods, by far their best ever is what I said. I actually think they've gone on to make better ones since, to be honest. But it does have Warriors of the North. Is it Warriors of the North? I mean, they absolutely all sound the same. Is it really, really, really good? You know what you're going to get with these chaps, and it's all good, all time. And number one um, was the first of I think two albums that I've ever given 5 stars for on the website, and that's Made Up Mind by the Tedeschi Trucks Band. Saying that when you've tried that a beer. Yeah, 5 stars then, 5 stars now. Winner. But do you know what? And I absolutely love this band for quite a while. When they started remaking the whole Layla record and shit like that, I thought, no, bye. I'm not having any more of that. And then their albums became really expensive, so I've gone off them. But yes, this is a brilliant record. Really, really good. Great cover as well. And we all know that the blues are not necessarily my thing, but then again, I'm the jazz guru on the channel as well, aren't I now? So, the guitar work on this is exceptional. Really, really is. I'm happy to give it 5 stars. Happy that it was the best album of the year, and yes, pleased with oneself for at least the top three. But why on earth is the top 56? I have no idea. No idea.
Is there anything in your next 46 that you would easily put into your top 10?
No,
Anything jump out at you like why is that so low type of thing?
no, and I know you two both really like the Deep Purple album from this year, especially you, Peter. But yeah, I think Deep Purple got really good again after that, after this one, and up till now, part of course from the covers album.
Sure.
Yes. No, there's nothing in the rest of the list that think there's absolutely shitloads I've never heard of. Tons and tons. Most of them I have never heard of.
Wow, you have Boston, Love, Life, and Hope at number 25.
Yeah, that would be a bit further down.
Yeah.
Although, do you know what?
It's got
I
two or
do.
three pretty good songs. The rest of it
Yeah,
is dreadful.
yeah,
Dreadful.
and yeah, and I know that Stephen thinks it's a really good year, but for me to have that high up suggests that there was for me, a paucity of great records in 2013. No, there's nothing in that that I would move any further. Nothing be like any further. Probably the one I've listened to most out of all these albums would be the theme to Star Trek Into Darkness, which is a much better album than film. So yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm going to follow that up with 2013 Rocks. This year rocks. I love this year. I can't believe it. I mean, as I mentioned to Simon earlier, not that we've discussed more than just the brief outline of today, he's clearly listened to the wrong albums because this is such a strong year. This is a great year. I only did a top 50, so Simon actually liked this year better than I did. technically, in that sense. There's so much that I like in this year, but I'd like to start by mentioning that I'm a twat. Okay, we'll come to that later. That's okay, because I am. There's no doubt about it. Let's do the top 10 and then I'll explain why I'm a twat. Okay, so my number 10 was, excuse the glare, because this is very shiny. This is Bruce Seward with Jonas Renske. Okay, Wisdom of Crowds. So this is Bruce Seward from the Pineapple Thief, Jonas Renske from
Okay.
Catatonia. It's, as you would expect with these two people, it's kind of moody and it's kind of proggy, kind of dancey. It's got dance beats and electronic stuff and all that. I was really taken by this at the time. It's all right. It's in the wrong place. It doesn't
I
deserve to
don't
be in
think
the
I
top
ever
10.
knew that that existed.
No,
Yeah.
but look, it dazzles, it excites. It's
Yeah.
really shiny.
It's a pairing that doesn't make any sense to me. Like I would never picture those two guys doing an album together ever.
I suppose that where they connect is melancholy. I mean, neither of them particularly write or sing cheerful tunes, do they? Really,
True.
it's
True.
not really the oeuvre they're going for. Really works actually. It wouldn't be in my top 10, and it wouldn't be in my top 10 because it's not an everyday listen. This is the sort of thing you really have to be in the mood for to put on. And I must admit, I listened to it the other day for the first time in a long time, probably not quite 12 years. It maybe isn't far away from it, and I still like it, and it's still good. It's kind of one of those "is what it is" albums, and I was very taken with it at the time because Bruce Seward tends to write very similar material quite often, and that's not quite the same. And maybe I was more impressed by the fact that he just not done the same again. I really like the Pineapple Thief too, I may add, but there you go. Number 9, Straight Out of Hell by Halloween. Okay, really like this. When we did Halloween, this was one of my. I think it was a wild card for me. I really like this album. This is where they really just become a proper power metal band rather than speed metal or whatever else you want to call them. And it's just lots of fun. Lots of fun. It probably still wouldn't be in my top 10 though, but it's lots of fun and I stand by it. Really like that album. Number 8 for me is Curse and Chapter. Okay, this is Hell. Okay, so this was the band. Well, we've spoken about Hell before as well. I think probably when we spoke about support bands many moons ago, because this was a new wave of British heavy metal band from way back in the 70s. And they recorded demos and they were really underground, but really well thought of. And then unfortunately, their singer took his own life. And obviously, from there, as you would expect, ground to a halt, fell apart, and they came back 40 years later with a debut album that was those songs reworked, and Andy Sneap was involved. And then you had a guy called David Bauer on vocals, who's the brother of the guitarist. And you kind of thought, this is a bad idea. And it was brilliant. And then they came out with a second album, and this is it. And they were like, well, you've stretched it once. There's no way you'll repeat it. This is great, by the way. This is really, really good. It's just as it slips out the bottom of the slipcase. Don't do slipcases, people. Don't do it. Because that's what happens to them. Okay? If Simon was to take this on a dog walk, it would be broken by now. Okay? And Simon takes CDs on dog walks. There you go. Who knew? Okay, this is really good.
Told me whilst I was on the dog walk.
Yeah,
Gave me the thing.
clearly you were giving them some air. Okay, doing it for the dogs to catch. Anyway, moving along. Okay, this is really good. And David Bower, the singer, he's just a theatrical. It's over the top. It's like a horror new wave of British heavy metal album. The Wobbum. That's easier to say. It's really good. It was number 8 for me. It would probably be higher by now, I would think. Number 7, one of my favourites. This is A Feast of Consequences by Fish. He's never really done a bad album, in my opinion, but this was him really kind of refinding himself at this point. He kind of got his career back together, started to get a bit more notice. And this is a really deep and dark album that's all about discovering his grandfathers through the First World War. He went away and visited sites where he'd discovered that his grandfathers had been and fought and various things. And therefore, it's quite a melancholy album, as the cover also would suggest. It's really good. And the Highwood Suite, which is kind of the... Oh, see, don't do slipcases, people. That's kind of the core of the album. He played that when I saw him a few weeks ago, and it was just outstanding. It still stands up now. Number 6, Alter Bridge, Fortress. It's a really good Alter Bridge album. I mean, it's an Alter Bridge album. It sounds like Alter Bridge, but it's really good. It's really good. It would still be in my top 10. Well, if you've got 2 or 3 Alter Bridge albums, you have Alter Bridge albums. People who like them will probably agree. I'm a weird Tremonti shirt. I like Alter Bridge. Okay. Number 5, Tom Kiefer, The Way Life Goes. This was the Cinderella frontman's first solo album. I love this man's voice. I know that he'll forever be the guy with the massive hair now. It's not Punky Meadows, by the way. From the first Cinderella album, he's got so much more about him than that. He's a real blues man, really.
He's a blues man at heart. That's what he is.
Yeah, absolutely. And this and his other solo album are really, really good. I just wish that he would do more. He's had vocal troubles and various things over the years, but I do wish he would do more. Great singer. Number 4 is the only one I can't do that with. Sorry, Spock's Beard. I sold you. Okay, so Brief Nocturnes and Dreamless Sleep was my number 4. It's clearly not in my top 10 now. I have a very strange relationship with Spock's Beard, where the classic Neil Morse years, I don't like them at all. He left. I kind of connected with the band for a while, really liked 2 or 3 albums. And I find when I go back to them, I find them really quite boring. I don't quite know what it is with them. Most people disagree. Fair enough. Every now and again, I'm wrong. Doesn't happen often. Okay. But yeah, I don't really get Spock's Beard. So there you go. Number 3 is Audrey Horne. Okay. And if you don't know who Audrey Horne are, you should. They are absolutely fantastic. This is Young Blood. And I wrote in my little notes here when I did this 12 years ago, the most in-your-face and high-energy hard rock album I've heard for a, capital letters, long time. Superb. And I stand by that. This is really, really good. You've got members of SAG here. You've got members of Hell, of with a V. Don't do that either, people. You've got members of Enslaved on this. This is a hard rock album, and it's a fun album, and it's really upbeat, and it's really in your face, and it's absolutely fantastic, and it's really stood up to the test of time. Number 2, Sound of Contact, Dimension Not. Okay. Which is easier to say than it is to type, I would imagine, because it's still got a squiggly red line underneath it all these years later. Prog with a commercial tinge, with sing-alongable choruses. Okay, this is Simon Collins. So this is Phil Collins' son, and he kind of puts most of this together. He's the main man in the band. His vocals, funnily enough, sound a bit like Phil Collins, but a young Phil Collins and a proggy Phil Collins, and it's a progressive rock album, but it's a modern progressive rock album. He doesn't just go and make a Genesis album and go, guess what my dad did once. He's not doing that, thankfully, and it's really good. It probably hasn't aged as well as I hoped it would. I listened to it the other day, and it's still good, but I think I was probably blown away by 2 or 3 really, really strong songs, and the rest of the album it's okay. Probably wouldn't make my top 10 now. My number 1, I'll reach down here, is this ginormous thing. This is The Raven That Refused to Sing. No surprise, this was my number one. This is Stephen Wilson, his third album. Also, And Other Stories. Nobody ever says the And Other Stories part, but there you go.
Too long.
Fabulous album. It's a progressive rock masterpiece. It's a millstone round his neck. It's a million things. What it is it's a great album. One that really stands the test of time, even though it kind of harks back to days gone by musically and various things like that. But it's just so strong. It's well put together. The band are fantastic. The guitar solos on the album, Guthrie Govan, just amazing. Just the whole thing is just phenomenal. And it really hangs together. It was my number one in 2013, and it would still be my number one for 2013 now. Now, why am I a twat? Well, there are many reasons, okay? Too many. Please don't write them in the comments because otherwise they'll just never stop, okay? Now, before I get to that, actually, let's tease that further. This was a really strong idea. Thanks for it. That's the first time Simon's agreed with me. Thank you. Okay, this is, there are lots of things that I could have put in my top 10 and didn't. Okay, so the deeper stuff on my list. I added an extra word into this because the Riverside are really clever. Shrine of New Generation Slaves. There's no A in the middle because the acronym there is Songs. Don't do that either, okay? It's a really good album, though. It's a really good album. I like On My Way to the Sun by John Elefante, the guy that was in Kansas for a couple of albums. He's such a good singer. Yes, it's not my cup of tea. I'm not a religious guy. You're going to have to accept that he's going to sing a lot about God and Jesus. And if that's going to make you struggle, you're not going to like it. I just don't listen to lyrics and I'll sing along with these things and all that sort of stuff. I really don't care what he's singing about. He's such a catchy singer. It's AOR gold, what John Elefante does. I like Oceans of Time by Touchstone, a kind of UK kind of pomp rock band. I like, funnily enough, Now What by Deep Purple. That's a great album, one of their kind of Renaissance albums. I like I Will Survive by Seventh Key, which is Mike Slammer. More about him and City Boy in a future show from myself and Simon. He's with Billy Greer in Seventh Key, so it's a bit like more proggy, which is really good. I like SAG with Delusions of Grandeur. I like Rockville by FM, and I like Rockville 2 by FM. I like Sacrifice by Saxon. I like The World Is Yours by The Union, which was Luke Morley from Thunder. I know, Simon, that I told you, this is an absolute belting year. Absolutely belting year, okay? With a guy called Pete Shoulder on vocals, one of the best singers I've ever seen live, okay? Thank you. Things that didn't make my top 50 that I didn't even know about at the time. I should have known about these at the time. I did know about some of them at the time. Queensryche with Queensryche, Aeon Zen, Enigma, DGM, Momentum, Creatures of the Night by Powerwolf, Tesseract with Altered State, and then, I'm a twat, okay? Because we've got Haken with The Mountain, okay?
You and me both, brother.
This is absolutely brilliant. I reviewed this album and said it was fantastic.
George Lemay just lost all respect for the both of us.
Oh, and I probably forgot all about it. And it's the second time we've done a year, and it'll be the second time that George will message me afterwards and go, "Where's Haken?" Okay. So in my revised top 10, this would be number 3, everybody. And I did know about it at the time, and I did review it. Forgot it. Okay. This is Heaven and Earth with Dig. This is a guy called Stuart Smith on guitars.
Good
You've
album.
got Chuck Wright on bass here. You've got a guy called Joe Retta on vocals. This is one of the best kind of rainbow-based classic rock albums that have ever been released not by Rainbow. There was a period of time where everyone was releasing an album like this. They were not doing them as well as Dig by Heaven and Earth. This would be my number 2 now. Okay, it's so good. I played it the other day. Love it. And my number 9, so it's still a good album, but it would make the top 10, is Rise Up by Wet. This is Jeff Scott Soto and Eric Martinson and all these kind of guys. They've just got a new album out right now. They're just such a consistently good melodic rock band, but they're a hard rock band, a melodic hard rock band. This, I suppose, going back to last week's show where we spoke about melodic rock, and I was going, nah, it's all a bit and all a bit When it rocks, it isn't like that, and I really like Wet. Okay, it's a crap name. It's work of art and Eclipse and Talisman, and it's meant to be clever. It's not. It's a bad band name, but they're absolutely brilliant. And the new album, which is sitting over here somewhere, but there you go. The new album is absolutely brilliant too. But there you go. So yeah, that's 3 albums that I knew about in 2013 that I just didn't put in the top 50 breaking news, I'm a twat. Okay, so that's
Well, you're a good guy, Stephen. I don't know about a twat.
it.
Yeah, but isn't it amazing how, you go back, I mean, because I went through the same thing as the both of you did, and I look at my list 12 years ago and I'm like, how is Haken the Mountain sitting at number 28 on my list? No idea. Because
See, see,
that that's
sorry to interrupt, Pete. See, with this one, I actually interviewed the band for Fireworks magazine. Okay, I did I think, a four-page feature on this band. I was mad for this album. I just didn't put it in my 50 at all because I just didn't do it.
you know what that was on my list? 74. That's I know. It's like, what was I thinking? So let's go through my top 10, shall we? And I'm sorry I didn't bring props, but I'll describe it as best as I can here. My number 10 was Saxon Sacrifice. I label it as the best traditional slash classic metal album of the year. I really still like Sacrifice quite a bit. I would probably keep this album in my top 10. It's really good. And if it's not a top 10, it's a top 15 album. So if it doesn't stay here, it's right below the line, but still really good. It's a great album. I mean, Saxon's been on such a roll for such a long period of time. I've thoroughly enjoyed everything they've released. God, I think even since before. When was Lionheart? That was before this, correct? Right?
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, to me, Lionheart and onwards, these albums are great. They're just so good. My number nine, Uncle Acid and the Deadbeats, Mind Control. It's a really good album. I don't know if it would be a top 10 for me today, based on what I have sitting and waiting in the wings to replace it with. It's really good. I mean, it's doomy, it's psych, it's pop, it's like this weird Beatles meets Black Sabbath type of thing. It's a really good album. I like all the Uncle Acid albums quite a bit. But looking back, I don't know if it's quite a top 10 for me. Maybe, maybe not. I think I was just so into them at the time that everything they put out, it was like ranking very high, but that was 12 years ago. So, like you, at my number eight, also I had Spock's Beard, Brief Nocturnes, and Dreamless Sleep. I like Spock's Beard quite a bit, actually. I don't know if this is a top 10 for me from this year. I find that they have a lot of albums, and I find like all these years later they're one of those bands that when they come out with a new album, I really like it. I enjoy it. I review it. I give it favorable remarks. I put it back on the shelf and I never revisit it. Can't say anything bad about it, right? I mean, great vocals, catchy tunes, all the little prog things you like, long songs and all that kind of stuff. But I sit here very honestly and say, I don't know if I can name one song off of it or melody off of it right off the top of my head. Doesn't mean it's bad, but they don't have staying power with me. And I like the band, seen them live, so probably would not still be in my top 10 if I were to re-rank this. Number seven is from San Francisco, the band Orchid, The Mouths of Madness. Orchid are a hard rock doom band from San Francisco. They are a complete Black Sabbath worshiping type of band. As long as you know that going in, and they're no more, sadly, I don't think they broke up for many, many years old. I thought I heard a rumor they were getting back together. But the singer sounds like Ozzy, the music sounds like Sabbath. Sabbath is my favorite band of all time. So obviously, I love this. I still listen to them. I think it's great. Maybe not all that original, but who gives a shit? I love it. So that's all that matters. Number six, a black metal band called Inquisition, and the album is titled Obscure Verses for the Multiverse. And this was before all the crazy Marvel multiverse movies, right? So this is a little bit ahead of the curve. And I wrote the best black metal album of 2013. I actually saw them live a couple times too around this time. They are a two-piece band. Guitar player who sings and a drummer, no bass player. When you see them live, it is the most gigantic wall of sound you'll ever hear from just two guys. Um, I know I was really into them for a while, but another band I haven't listened to in a million years. And the singer, guitar player, got busted with like child pornography stuff or something. Yeah, so they kind of, I think they're done at this point. I don't really know what happened to them, but they are probably out of all the black metal bands that I listen to, I mean, they come up with killer riffs. The guitar playing is off the charts great. So I was like really into them for a while, but they've completely fallen off my radar. But so probably wouldn't continue to stay in my top 10. Number five, The Raven That Refused to Sing and Other Stories from Steven Wilson. It's a masterpiece. It stays in my top 10. It's typically the Steven Wilson album I go back to the most, and he's got a couple that I really love a lot. It's a prog classic, whether he wants to be known as a prog artist or not. He has made some prog classics, and it's one of them. But yeah, that stays here. Number four was a great kind of comeback album for this UK band, Carcass, Surgical Strike. So, of course, Carcass, the melodic death metal band that had been away for a number of years and got back together, and it's like they never left. It's a great album, great guitar work. It's relentless, great production. Saw them live on this tour. They were amazing. Honestly, I haven't heard this album probably in 8, 10 years. And that's my fault, right? But I listened to this quite a lot for a couple of years afterwards. Would it still be in my top 10? I don't really know because I got some stuff that are sitting way low that I'll talk about in a second, that probably would move in and knock this out. But really good album nonetheless. Number three is Black Sabbath 13. I labeled it the comeback of the year, better than I would have ever imagined. I know a lot of people who, in the years since this came out, really don't like this album at all. I still really like 13. Yeah, you never liked it?
No, no.
Okay.
I didn't get the hullabaloo. I wanted to like it. I bought it the day it came out. Wanted to like it. I just don't think the songs are all that strong. I find it
Some
just
people
doesn't.
find it boring and
Yeah.
plodding.
I was trying not to use the boring word. I found it boring. I still do.
Yeah, I see. I've always liked it. I still can listen to it, and I still really enjoy it. I think there's some great songs on there. I mean, they're my favorite band of all time. I saw them like 3 times on this tour. I like the songs. I thought they went over live really, really good. Maybe it wouldn't be at number three for me, but it's a top 10 for me. And I've for years have heard people slag it, and I just kind of sit and keep my mouth shut, and I'm like, I really like it.
Sorry to add to that. Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. I mean, I get it. I get it. I mean, a lot of people say, well, the production isn't great. A lot of people say, well, they're just trying too hard to sound like Sabbath of the old days. And I don't think it sounds like Sabbath from the 70s. I think it's
Okay.
not all that different from the album that they did with Dio, right? When they were Heaven and Hell. It's not that different from that. To me, it sounds like a Sabbath album. Again, they're not really doing anything different, but I think the songs are good. I like it. So yeah, it still stays in my top 10. It may not be number three, but it stays there. Number two is Dream Theater, self-titled. I said, stunning stuff from an ever dependable band. It's a really good album. It's not one of my favorites from the Mike Mangini era. Of course, Portnoy had already left at this point in time, but I think it's still really, really strong. It may not be number two, but I really like it a lot. I'm a big fan, so it's going to stay in my top 10. And my number one probably may not. Deep Purple. Now what? It definitely will stay in my top three. I don't know if it would be number one. And I wrote down my all-time favorite band delivers once again. And this is the first album with the new partnership with Bob Ezrin. And I listened to this a ton the year it came out. I still listen to it a lot. I listened to it the other day, as a matter of fact. And I was like, yeah, it holds up really, really well. Because Martin Popoff and I did a whole Bob Ezrin show, and I was re-listening to some of the Ezrin produced albums with Deep Purple. And I think it's really good because it rocks. It's got some really good proggy stuff on it. I think Ian Gillan sounds great on it. Steve Morse is doing his thing. Don Airey's all over the whole thing. I think it holds up really, really well. Whether it will still be my number one or maybe fall back to number two, I don't really know. Now, why would it fall back to number two? Well, obviously because I have some stuff sitting in the wings that were either in my honorable mentions, or did I even do honorable mentions this year? Was it all? No, I rank my top 75. Yeah, this is what we do on the webzine, folks. We sometimes we go overboard. We do top 57s and we do top 50s and 75s and
Oh,
100s. I've done 100s too in the past. Yeah, right, Simon?
57. Oh
What
my
do you call
God.
it? 56, 57, whatever it is.
No, 57, that's just stupid, isn't it?
I have to look, but I could recall one of our writers once did like a top 39 or something like that. And I was like, really? You couldn't find one more album to do a top 40? I'm like, seriously? But hey, it happens. So what do I have waiting in the wings that potentially could and should be in my top 10? Satan Live Sentence. Terrific album. I mean, this band has been on such a roll since they got back together. Every album has been great, and I would argue all their more recent albums since the reunion are better than their classic new wave of British heavy metal era stuff. That's just me. Great album. Queensryche, Queensryche. I think Steven mentioned it. Terrific, terrific album. Todd Latoure's the man. They sound like Queensryche again, which is great. Cathedral, The Last Spire, the last album from the mighty UK Doom band. Great, great album. Maybe not a top 10, but pretty close to it. The Riverside album, Shrine of New Generation Slaves. It's really good. That should be up there. I think what did I rank that actually? I had that at, where is it here? Number 17. Yeah, it deserves to be a little higher than that. Voodoo Circle, More Than One Way Home. Really good album from Alex Bayrott from Primal Fear. I like that a lot. Amorphous Circle probably should be a top 10 for me. Rival Sons Head Down. To me, now any Rival Son has got to be in the top 10. I love Rival Son. Cadaver from Germany, Abracadabra. Great, great kind of stoner psych heavy band from Germany. Immolation, Kingdom of Conspiracy, killer death metal album. Uh, that's got to be ranking pretty high for me. Hake in the Mountain. That honestly could be my number one. Now, all these years later, again, that was way down low in my list, which I don't know what I was thinking of. Spiritual Beggars, Earth Blues, that was sitting way down low. That should be pretty high. Halloween, Straight Outta Hell is another one. The Winery Dogs, self-titled debut, that should be pretty high. Blood Ceremony from Canada, The Eldritch Dark, that should be pretty high. And a death metal band. They're kind of like a progressive death metal band. Ancients, Heart of Oak was their debut. I had that way low on my list. I reviewed their latest one very, very favorably, and I think both their albums or their three albums are just absolutely spectacular. So that's some of the stuff that's sitting down low that probably could push onto my list. And Stephen, neither one of us mentioned Ghost with Infestissumon, or however the hell you say that.
Yeah, which is a bit of a surprise as well. I haven't even mentioned it in this show. It's probably not my favourite Ghost album, which is probably why it hasn't featured. But yeah, it deserves to be in the reckoning somewhere.
Yeah, that's that weird out because they were called Ghost BC at the time.
Yeah, that's the one where some other band called Ghost had to go to try and keep the name and all that kind of malarkey. Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and there's a lot of other really good, solid stuff I see in my list here, but
Yeah.
I
I
also
mean, we all like what we like. I was really surprised when Simon said he didn't think it was a strong year because I looked at my list and I knew right off the bat that the stuff I'd forgotten at the time. And I was like, I could easily have my top kind of 20, 30 looking back on this year are albums I really, really like.
yeah, yeah. And Simon's point earlier about he and I never agree on music at all. If you look at my entire list and you look at Simon's entire list, did we even cross over on 5 albums? I don't even know if we did.
I suspect not.
Yeah, I'm looking at him like I looked at yours and I'm like, I don't know any of this stuff. And then I look at mine,
So
I'm
did
like,
I. I looked at my and thought, I don't know any of this shit. No. I think we both
don't
had
feel
deep.
bad, Simon. I found a few on my list I had no clue about either, so don't feel bad.
Yeah, Deep Purple. I think that's pretty much it, isn't it?
Yeah, you might be right. You might be right.
That's of the entire 56.
So Simon did 56. How many did you do, Pete?
75.
75. So what about 100 and, well, 32,
And what did you do? You
132
did
different
50.
albums between the 2 years if there's only, or 133 if there's only one crossover.
Yeah.
Or I can't math. 131.
Let me
That's
just
quite impressive.
take another look at Simon's list because I guarantee you, let's see.
And any list that has Black Sabbath at number 2 is not going to be Simon friendly, is it?
No.
See, that's an interesting concept where you two have suddenly agreed that you don't like any of the same music, which would make me ask the question, why is it that I feel that you two just gang up on me then?
Because when we're
Well,
right, we're very, very
Oh, that's when the stars align. Is that what it is?
I think we
Yeah.
agree more on older music than we do on newer stuff, I guess. Because we tend to, when we do ranking the songs on classic albums and stuff, Simon and I generally agree on those for the most part.
Mhm. That's true.
Um, but
That's
like,
true.
yeah, but the funny thing is, I'm looking at Simon's list and I'm like, there's a lot of bands on here that I like. He's got Rhapsody of Fire, he's got Boston, he's got Royal Hunt, he's got Avantasia, Eden's Curse, Visions of. I like all these bands, but I never listened to any of them that year. That's the problem.
Mm.
I think because honestly, if you really look at all of our lists, how many of these were albums that we reviewed on the website? Probably a
I mean,
lot.
it plays a massive part. It
And
does, to be
so,
fair.
like, I'll send, Steven 150 albums during the course of the year to review. Same for Simon. I'll never hear those albums, right? Unless something sparks in me that's like, oh, well, I like that band. I got to get that too, or listen to that too. So that, again, we're looking back on a time where that was a pretty regular thing. So
Yep.
oh, we got Rod Stewart. Time is on this list too.
Oh,
Wow.
excellent. Excellent. Stand by that. Absolutely.
There you
Yeah.
go. Wow. Yeah, there's some cool stuff. Sammy Hagar and Friends. Oh, you got the Audrey Horn on here as well. So see, Simon's
Yeah.
got that there as well. Yeah, there's some really cool stuff on Simon's list. There's some stuff I have no idea what it is, but it's like, but there's
That's
Stradivarius.
the
You got
joy.
Stradivarius as well. I like Stradivarius. Why are they not on my list? I have no idea. Or maybe they are. Hold on. Yeah, why would Stradivarius not be on my list? I'm a huge fan. Um, I see Big Big Train on Steven's list.
Yeah, there's a band I cannot connect with at all these days. I had
Wow,
three or
look
four of
at
their
that.
albums and just went back to them a few times and worked out, couldn't work out why I enjoyed them to start with.
Yeah. See, Simon, I don't have Stradivarius on my list, which probably just means that I didn't listen to it that year. But
Yeah.
I
Well,
own it. I,
Saxon aren't on my list, and yet I like Sacrifice, but I clearly didn't get round to it that year.
yeah,
Mm,
that's the thing. You
There's
know,
that much. There's that much product, and it has been for over a decade now. It's just relentless, isn't it? Just
yeah.
churn, 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 churn. Especially when you actually do some reviewing, which I don't anymore. It's just like, oh my god, oh god, got to knock this out within the next 15 minutes. Oh, there's another one. Oh, thanks. Oh, I've got an email from Pete. Brilliant. Really. Oh, joy. Oh, oh, that one's out on Friday. Oh, Christ. Right. Okay. Yeah. Oh, that one's already out. Oh, fuck, no. So, yeah.
the relentless schedule we keep, fellas, right? I'm telling you.
It is interesting going back and looking at these lists because they are a snapshot in time, but they're not necessarily the snapshot of time. Do you know? Because it's as much about what we've listened to and what we liked and what we've managed to hear, and then what I just had totally forgotten about. Over and above that, there, as I say, two of my favourite albums from the year I did listen to that year. They're just not on my list.
Yeah.
I really don't know why, other than I'm a twat. But it is interesting going back and looking at these lists and just going, well, it's a snapshot of time for me that day that I put my list together.
Well, I mean,
Do
look at what we go through every year at the end of because of course, you know how it goes. That email goes out from me to everybody at like what, right at middle of November. And I'm like, start to think about, end of the year stuff. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I got to put this list together, right? So then you put it together. And I just had this conversation with Simon on last year's. Simon will send it to me and they'll be like, oh, I'm still debating, what order it should be in and whatever. And then, there have been other years where like someone will send me their list and then like a week later, can I resubmit my list because I've made a couple changes and I've just been
yeah,
driving me crazy. And I'm
uh,
like, don't overthink it. It's but that's what it can do. I mean, it's just, and we've been doing it for forever. I mean, this goes back, 20 some odd years here. It's just like, and you just, and you're hastily putting together, how best to kind of organize it and how to rank it. And then, once you're done with it, we're all kind of like, whew, that's over and done with till next November, right, or December. And you don't think about it. And then you look back on it all these years later and you're like, really? That's where I put that album? That's where Hick in the Mountain is at? What?
yeah.
Wow.
I mean, other than Haken, because I've omitted them by mistake. One of the things that struck me was I was clearly in full on prog mode back then, because there are albums here that are proggy albums, like the Sound of Contact one, Spock's Beard That I've Sold, the Bruce Seward and Jonas Renska one, that I listen to now and go, yeah, they're okay. But in 2013, that's really what I was listening to. I was listening to lots of prog
That's a
all the
good,
time.
yeah,
That's
that's
probably changed over the last decade and a bit now, where I still listen to lots of prog. It's probably not my primary listening habit these days.
right. Yeah, I can look back on these years and go just pick a year and I'm like, okay, that was that 5 year period where I was listening to tons of extreme metal. So I look at
Mm.
my top 10, top 20, and it's filled with black and death metal bands, right? I'm sure Simon could do this because for a while there, Simon was my Frontiers guy, right? Simon reviewed everything that was released on Frontiers. So Simon was like, AOR melodic rock, send it my way, and he reviewed everything. And I bet you if you look at Simon's top 10 for some of those years, it's littered with that stuff, right? So it's like depends on what you're into, what you're reviewing, and it changes all the time. Because if I and we haven't. What's the most recent one of these we've done? Like year.
This is the most recent. We've been
This
working
is
our
the
way
most
forward from where we
recent.
started.
I would think maybe it'd be fun to do for like one of the next years to do like 2019 or 2020 or 2021 and see like
Good
how
move.
much has changed in just a couple of years, right?
Hmm. Okay. I like that idea.
Yeah.
That's good because I've realized that on 2014, I realized about 10 years ago, I actually missed off the best album of the year and I meant to put it on. And when everybody else's list came out, I went, oh, shit, shit, shit.
Well, now I have to look. Damn it.
It's not there. Just, don't panic. It's not on my list.
Well, but it's on everybody else's, you said?
On everybody else's list, though, that's what you're saying.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
All right. Well, I see some really good albums here, so it's obviously one of these. Let me look at
don't
some.
spoil the fun for whenever we get round to 2014.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll get to it.
Not,
We won't do any spoilers here.
not there.
Yeah, 2014 was a pretty stacked year as well.
Yeah, I'm just looking at my top 10 for 2014 and already going, I'm just looking at what's outside my top 10 and going, these are great.
Much better year.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, sorry, we're now having viewers watching us look at the internet.
We're all like looking at this. I'm like, oh, cool.
Let's not do that.
Stephen, let everybody know what we're going to be tackling next go around here on the
Well,
UK.
we've been talking about all these albums that we absolutely love this week. So let's not do that next time round. We are going to talk about 5 bands from outside the Sea of Tranquility paradigm, Uncle Simon's favourite phrase, that we can't stand. I mean, that could be anywhere, anything.
Anyway,
Just basically stuff that we don't like. How much fun can that be?
Artists, Stephen, artists, not bands, artists.
Oh, sorry. Well, okay. Yeah, I've written bands down, but artists, musical acts of any variety. Yes, indeed. There are no boundaries. If we
so
don't like it,
bands
we
are
don't
artists
like
that
it.
we don't normally talk about here on this channel,
Yep,
probably for a reason, but we can't stand them. So yeah.
yep. That's it.
Yes. So for everybody watching, I will not be talking about Guns N' Roses because we do talk about them enough on this channel, even though half of us don't like them. But yeah, but that's, I mean, so yeah, but there are others. I'm already plotting this one, so I'm like,
Yeah, and also, right now, I'm introducing my joker, which is you can't choose Oasis, and
okay,
you can't
okay.
choose Coldplay.
Can't choose.
Coldplay.
That's fine. Neither were on my. I mean, I don't like either, but neither were on my list. So that's fine.
Yeah, they're both shit, but just it's like shooting fish in a barrel, choosing them, and
Yeah, yeah.
so,
So yeah, we're doing one of those type of episodes next time. So of course, 20,000 people will watch this particular one coming up, but that's the way it goes, right? People love the hate, don't they? Yes, they do. So anyway, for everybody watching, make sure like don't just let us have all the fun. Take a look back on 2013 and let us know either what you pick now or what you picked back then as your favorite albums from 2013. And what do you think has aged well for you and what really hasn't? What changes would you might make? That's kind of the point of doing this. I love doing these episodes, and that's why we do them every so often. Because for us, it's a lot of fun because, of course, because we have done the journalist thing for so long. It's like we have to do these lists every year. But some of them, the lists don't age all that well, right? So yeah. Believe me, I found that out on this month's morning show, right? 2005 and 2015. I went and looked at mine like, Jesus, no way that album's making my top 15. Crazy. I'm like, but hey, it's the way it goes. Anyway, what do we got coming up on the channel? Tune in tomorrow because Steven and I will be back together once again, ranking the albums of Tremonti. Show that shirt, Steven. There you go. And yes, we recorded it before this episode, so it's just the way it goes. By the magic of Zoom recording, we made Simon wait a few extra minutes while we finished that up, but you'll actually see this before that one. So, yeah. He was already dipping into his beer waiting for us. He's like, these guys talking about this Tremonti nonsense.
Well, at least he remembered and had his tea this week.
Oh, yeah. I honestly felt really bad about that last time.
Yeah, I did too. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. I barely slept.
Did you?
Well, I felt worse about it when I knew tea actually meant having dinner. I know I'd be pretty upset if I missed my dinner. I thought, yeah, first I was just having tea. I'm like, you could drink tea while you're having the episode. You're just missing out on some little hot beverage. But then it's like, no, there's a lot more to that, Mr. Pardo. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, the whole cultural differences here, it's whatever. Anyway, Stephen, I do want to say I really like this brewery. They need to open one up here in the Hudson Valley because I would be there all the time, even though I try to limit my
Yes.
drinking as much as possible. But yeah, that's really good.
Solid stuff, it has to be said. Always good.
What else do they have besides for the stout and the Scottish ale?
Belhaven Black. If you've not had that, you need to have Belhaven Black. I think that's actually the best of the three.
That comes in a bottle, correct?
You can get it in tins as well, but it comes in a bottle, yes. Yep.
I believe they did have that. I chose this one, but I did. My guy down the street has all of their beers, so
Yep. You'll like
it's the
that.
ones
It's
that are
really good.
available here. I don't know.
Yeah. And there are other ones. They've got malt beers and various things. There's different sizes and things. They've got
Oh,
quite a range. They're a well-known name here. So yeah, quite a lot.
Yeah, I'm gonna get more. That's very delightful. I like their
Yep.
beers a lot. I like them because they're not too strong. They're just flavorful and smooth, and you know,
Very
you guys
nice
make
indeed.
good beer over there across the pond. I will say.
Yes, indeedy.
Well said. So cool. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube all together all the damn time. I'm actually, when we're recording, I'm going to have my tea now, but when you're watching this, not quite yet. It's a little early for that, but anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. Like I said, tune in for ranking the albums of Tremonti tomorrow, and we'll see you back here in 2 weeks on the UK Connection. For Simon Bray and Steven Reid, I am Pete Pardo. Enjoy, everybody. Take care. Have a good weekend. Bye bye.